At exactly 3:14 a.m., a healthy baby boy named Liam vanished from his crib in a secure hospital nursery. There were no forced doors, no windows open. No one entered or exited the room, according to the hallway security footage. But the baby was gone. Police were called. Panic swept through the hospital staff. And somewhere, hidden in plain sight, was the answer no one was prepared to find. Before we continue, let us know in the comments where you are watching from today and what time you are currently watching this video. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. It started on a Thursday morning, 6:43 a.m., when Nurse Cassidy ran screaming out of the newborn unit at Blackstone Regional Hospital. Her eyes were red, her voice hoarse from crying, and she kept repeating the same sentence. "The baby's gone, he's just gone." Detective Noah Ramsey had only been awake for 10 minutes when his phone rang. He was halfway through pouring cereal into a chipped white bowl when the words, "missing newborn," sent milk splashing across the counter. 30 minutes later, Noah stood in the center of the hospital nursery, a room painted with cartoon giraffes and pale blue stars. He scanned the rows of empty cribs. All were accounted for except one. Crib number 4, Liam Warner, born the day before. Healthy, no complications, no visitors overnight, no signs of forced entry. His mother, Tasha Warner, was sitting in a wheelchair in her recovery room, shaking uncontrollably, her arms empty. Her boyfriend, Darren, paced nearby, demanding answers. 2 officers tried to calm them while Noah stepped in. "What time did anyone last see the baby?" he asked the head nurse. 3 a.m., she said. "I did the feeding myself. Everything was fine. I swaddled him, kissed his little head, and walked back to my station. At 4:30 a.m., Cassidy came to check in and..." Her voice cracked. "He was gone." "Were there any visitors last night?" "No visitors after 8 p.m. hospital policy." "What about staff movement?" "Only me, Cassidy, and Dr. Langford on the floor." Noah asked for the security footage immediately. It took just an hour to get the hard drives pulled and loaded into the station system. He watched the footage in a quiet viewing room behind the hospital's admin wing. The hallway camera outside the nursery covered both entry and exit doors. Nothing strange. From 3 a.m. to 4:30 a.m., not a single soul passed through. Not one person, and yet, crib number 4 was now empty. Noah leaned back, silent, while Tech Officer Mara rewound the tape for the 5th time. "He didn't just vanish," she muttered. "Someone's screwing with the system." "You're thinking a hacked feed?" "It's possible, but this was live feed recorded to physical hardware. No wireless transfer. That makes it a lot harder to fake. So either someone edited the footage on site," Noah paused, "or something's seriously wrong with this hospital." Meanwhile, the building was in lockdown. No patients, staff, or visitors were allowed to leave. Parents in the maternity wing were panicking, clutching their newborns like gold. Extra officers were posted outside every hallway and exit door. But it was already too late. Whoever took Liam was long gone. Noah went room by room, starting with the ones nearest to the nursery. He questioned every nurse and doctor, checked ID badges, even pulled fire exit logs. Nothing stood out until he got to the basement level. That's where the hospital stored old medical equipment. It was also the least monitored area in the entire building. One lone security camera sat above the elevator. "Has anyone checked down here?" Noah asked Officer Jenna, who tagged along. "Not since the alert. You thinking someone hid down here?" "I'm thinking it's the only place not under lockdown right when it happened." They moved down the dim hallway, stepping carefully around stacked boxes and broken monitors. A faint humming echoed from an old generator room. Noah was about to open the door when Jenna grabbed his arm. "Did you hear that?" They both froze. Something or someone was breathing behind the stack of gurneys near the far end. Noah raised his voice. "This is the police." "Come out with your hands where I can see them." No response. He drew his sidearm and nodded to Jenna, who flanked the other side. They moved in quickly. Clear. Nothing. Just an empty hallway and an old mop bucket. But then they spotted something odd wedged beneath the gurney. A disposable surgical mask with blood. Noah grabbed a glove, picked it up, and turned it over. A faint blue lipstick stain was smudged across the edge. He bagged it and radioed Mara. run a DNA scan on a bloody surgical mask from sub-level storage. There might be a fourth person on staff we don't know about. Back upstairs, Tasha Warner was slipping into hysteria. Her screams could be heard down the hallway. The baby's father was being detained, standard procedure. Noah didn't believe Darren was involved, but protocol had to be followed. By noon, Homeland Security was notified. The missing newborn case was now considered a possible abduction. With no evidence of forced entry, the focus shifted to internal conspiracy. But then something unexpected happened. A nurse named Sylvia Jenkins, who hadn't been on the schedule, was reported as missing since last night. Her shift had ended at 11 p.m. Wednesday, and she never clocked out. No one had seen her since. Noah dug into her file, clean record. 2 years at the hospital, single. No kids, no known grievances. He pulled her security badge records and stopped cold. At 3:12 a.m., 2 minutes before Liam vanished, Sylvia's ID badge accessed the nursery door. But she didn't show up on the hallway footage. Is that even possible? He asked Mara. Only if the footage was bypassed. Or if there's a blind spot. Noah rubbed his temple. I want every second of footage reanalyzed. Pixel by pixel. Check the reflection on the window glass. Background noise, anything. Because something didn't add up. A nurse vanished, a baby disappeared. And a security camera recorded nothing at all. Detective Noah Ramsey didn't believe in coincidences, especially not the kind that involved missing babies and employees, vanishing without a trace on the same night. Sylvia Jenkins, 27 years old, a pediatric nurse with no history of problems, and now somehow she had accessed the newborn nursery at 3:12 a.m. exactly, 2 minutes before Liam disappeared, yet no one saw her leave. Noah stood at the center of the hospital's security office, arms folded, watching every second of the hallway camera on a loop, over and over again. But the corridor outside the nursery remained quiet. No one walked in, no one walked out. But someone had to. Mara, the tech specialist, tapped her pen on the desk. I noticed something odd, she said. Go back to 3 hours, 11 minutes, and 54 seconds. Noah narrowed his eyes at the screen. A cleaning cart sat parked in the corner, the mop leaning against it. Then at 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 6 seconds, the mop was gone. The cart hadn't moved. No one touched it. No shadows, no reflections. Just missing. Rewind, Noah said. They watched again. The mop was standing there, then suddenly not. I don't care what it takes, Noah said. I want a full floor sweep, top to bottom. We're missing something. By 2 p.m., a dozen officers were combing through the hospital's maintenance tunnels, janitor closets, and even the ceiling crawl spaces. Meanwhile, Noah took a different approach. He paid a visit to Sylvia Jenkins' apartment. The building was quiet, tucked behind a gas station and a laundromat with peeling paint on the front door. He knocked 3 times, no answer. He knocked again, louder. Miss Jenkins. Police? Still nothing. He signaled to his partner, Officer Jenna, and they got the landlord's permission to enter. The door creaked open into a small, dim studio with a cot against the wall and a single dresser. Everything was neat. Too neat. Place looks untouched, Jenna said. Noah walked to the kitchen counter. A mug of coffee sat half full cold. The milk beside it was curdled. In the trash, a sandwich only half eaten. She left in a hurry, Noah muttered. He checked the bathroom. Toothbrush missing, purse gone. But her hospital ID badge still sat on the kitchen table. It didn't make sense. Suddenly Jenna called out, Noah here. He followed her voice to the closet. Tucked in the corner, under a stack of folded towels, was a duffel bag. Inside were infant diapers, 2 baby bottles, and a pacifier still sealed in a store bag. Noah stared at it. Why would she have this? Jenna asked. Noah didn't answer. Instead, he grabbed the store receipt crumpled in the side pocket. Purchased yesterday at 6:17 p.m. from a drugstore 5 blocks away. He picked up his radio. Dispatch, I need security footage from the following address. Back at the hospital, panic was growing. News vans were now lining the streets outside. Reporters shouted questions at officers. Cameras flashed. People wanted answers. Inside, Tasha Warner was no longer crying. She sat silent, rocking slightly, eyes hollow. A nurse tried to hand her a sandwich. She didn't even blink. Her boyfriend, Darren, was being interrogated again after a nurse claimed he argued with Sylvia the day before. You ever talk to her? Noah asked. Darren crossed his arms. Yeah. She brought Liam to Tasha's room after he was born. That's her job. Did you ever speak to her outside the nursery? No, not really. Why? Someone accessed the nursery using her badge the night your son disappeared. I didn't see her that night. Ask anyone. We're trying, but she didn't clock out of her shift. And now she's missing. Darren looked stunned. You think she took our baby? We're looking into it. Noah left the room and walked back toward the command center they'd set up in the hospital conference hall. 2 officers were reviewing possible exit routes. One of them turned to Noah and said, Sir, the east stairwell had a fire alarm disabled. It never went off when the door opened. When was it used? 3:19 a.m. A full 7 minutes after the last recorded access to the nursery. So someone used that stairwell. And nobody heard it? Exactly. Pull footage. We don't have any on that stairwell. It's a blind spot, Noah gritted his teeth. This wasn't a mistake, it was planned. Thought through. Someone knew this building well enough to avoid cameras, bypass alarms, and vanish. Then his phone rang. It was Mara. I got the pharmacy security cam, she said. You're going to want to see this. Back at the station, Noah stared at the grainy footage from the local pharmacy. There, in plain sight, was Sylvia Jenkins. She walked into the store at 6:15 p.m. and bought baby supplies. She was alone, no sign of pregnancy. Nostroyer. But what chilled Noah the most was the final shot. Sylvia standing outside the store, phone pressed to her ear. She wasn't talking. She was listening and smiling. Who the hell was she talking to? Jenna asked. Noah stared at the timestamp. Pull her phone records. While that request went through, Noah paid another visit, this time to the hospital administrator. How long has Sylvia worked here? He asked. 2 years, solid worker, always picked up extra shifts. Sometimes too many. What do you mean? She kept volunteering for night shifts in the maternity ward. Told us she had trouble sleeping. Anyone ever visit her here? The administrator paused. There was one guy, clean cut, wore a visitor badge. Said he was her cousin, only saw him once. Name? No idea. He never signed the visitor log. Noah felt something cold settle in his gut. Whoever Sylvia had been talking to, they had helped her plan this. Someone with access. Someone who knew how to hide. As the sky darkened outside the station, a call finally came through. Mara's voice crackled on the line. Detective? Sylvia's phone pinged at a cell tower near the West Industrial District. At 5:02 this morning, Noah sat up straight. That's 12 blocks from the hospital, she continued, near the old textile warehouse. You're sure? Positive. 1 hit. Then it went dark, probably turned off. Noah stood. Gear up, he said to Jenna. We're going hunting. By midnight, 2 squad cars rolled into the West District. The warehouse looked abandoned, its windows shattered graffiti across the front wall. A chain-link fence surrounded it, gate unlocked. Noah pulled his pistol. Jenna did the same. They moved in. A dog barked in the distance. Rain began to fall, soft and steady. The building creaked with every step. Old fabric rolls lay strewn across the floor. In the corner, a makeshift mattress. An empty bottle, a used syringe. But no Sylvia, no baby. Then something caught Jenna's eye, muddy boot prints. Fresh, leading deeper into the darkness. They followed silently, flashlights sweeping every shadow, guns raised. Then a sudden noise. Something metal slammed in the distance. They weren't alone. The echo of the metal slam still hung in the air as Noah and Jenna crouched behind an overturned workbench in the warehouse. Their flashlights cut through the dust, casting shaky beams along the cracked concrete floor. Noah whispered, You hear that? Jenna nodded, eyes locked on the darkness ahead. Sounded like a door. He raised his voice. Police, come out with your hands up. Silence. They moved forward in slow, quiet steps. The boot prints they'd found earlier now curved around the far side of the warehouse, disappearing behind an old office door with a broken window. Noah motioned to Jenna. She stood to the side, gun drawn. He stepped forward and kicked the door open. Nothing inside, just a broken chair, a tipped-over filing cabinet, and an overwhelming smell of damp wood and mold. But then they heard it, a faint sound. Click, 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 like something tapping against metal. Repeated, deliberate. They followed the sound through the back exit, which led to another section of the building, an old storage room that smelled of gasoline and rot. A single hanging light bulb flickered above them, and there she was. Sylvia Jenkins stood at the center of the room, breathing hard, her clothes stained with dirt and dried sweat. In her hand was a hospital duffel bag, the same one Noah had seen earlier. She didn't run, she didn't shout. She just stared at them with wide, red-rimmed eyes. Noah raised his gun. "Put the bag down. Hands in the air?" Sylvia blinked slowly, as if waking up from a dream. "It's not what you think," she said. "Where's the baby?" Noah's voice was firm. She didn't answer. "Where is Liam Warner?" Sylvia took a shaky breath. "I had to take him. He was in danger." Noah stepped closer. "From who?" Her lip trembled. "You don't understand? He wasn't safe there. Someone was going to hurt him." Jenna moved behind her, cuffing her wrists. The bag hit the floor with a soft thud. Noah opened it. Diapers, bottles. A change of clothes, but no baby. "Where is he?" he asked again, stepping closer, his voice sharper now. Sylvia's head dropped. "I gave him to someone." "To who?" "My cousin," she whispered. "His name's Donnie. He said he could protect him." "Protect him from what?" She swallowed hard. "People in the hospital. They're selling babies." Noah froze. "What did you just say?" She looked up at him, tears streaking her face. "You think it was just Liam? There've been others. The hospital covers it up. You only see what they want you to see." He stared at her, trying to gauge if this was panic-driven nonsense or something deeper. "You have proof of this?" Jenna asked. Sylvia nodded quickly. "In my locker. USB drive, records, names, birth certificates that don't match, babies that were never registered." Noah radioed dispatch. "Bring Sylvia Jenkins into holding. Have CSU sweep this entire warehouse. We're missing a baby. He could still be nearby." Officers began to flood the warehouse while Sylvia was placed in the back of a squad car. As she was driven away, she kept whispering, "Check the locker, please, before they wipe it all." At 4:47 a.m., Noah and Jenna returned to Blackstone Regional Hospital. The building felt colder now, more hollow. They headed straight to the staff locker room. Sylvia's locker was near the end of the row. Inside was a small makeup bag, a few crumpled snack wrappers, and a flash drive taped to the top corner. Noah took it back to the mobile tech van outside. Mara plugged it in immediately. It contained scanned documents, over 30 files, all labeled with dates and names. Many were infants born in the last 2 years. One stood out, baby Amelia W., marked stillbirth in hospital records. But the attached document showed a live discharge form. A healthy baby, discharged to a private home caregiver. Noah's blood boiled. "Where are these kids going?" he muttered. Mara clicked another folder. A spreadsheet appeared, dozens of entries. No explanations, just initials, times, notes like "no mother contact" and "cleared through Dr. A." "Who's Dr. A?" Jenna asked. Noah didn't answer. He was already walking back into the hospital. Dr. Adrian Langford, senior neonatologist. He'd been on shift the night Liam disappeared. Noah found him in the staff lounge, sipping coffee like nothing had happened. The man was in his early 50s, clean-shaven, with silver-rimmed glasses and a calm face that rarely cracked. "Dr. Langford," Noah said as he entered. The man turned. "Detective, any news on the baby?" "Possibly. I need to ask you a few questions." "Of course." "Were you in the nursery at all between 3 and 4 a.m.? "No. I was doing rounds. I checked vitals on 3 infants earlier in the night, but I wasn't in that wing around then." "Anyone see you during that time?" "I believe Nurse Cassidy passed me near the east wing around 3:20. "You can confirm that with her?" Noah nodded, keeping his tone calm. "Do you know a woman named Amelia Ward?" The doctor blinked slowly. "No. Should I?" "She was a newborn listed as a stillbirth. In your hospital, 2 years ago." Langford set down his coffee. "Detective, I oversee hundreds of births a year. I couldn't possibly remember them all." Noah leaned in slightly. "What if I told you I have records suggesting that baby didn't die?" Langford didn't flinch, but his next sip of coffee was slower. "I'd say you're following a very dangerous rumor," he said. "Why would that be dangerous?" "Because hospitals like this survive on trust. We lose that, and we lose everything." "That's not an answer," Langford stood. "If you have reason to believe crimes were committed here, I suggest you bring formal charges. Otherwise, I have work to do." He walked out. Noah turned to Jenna. We're not letting this go. They left the lounge and returned to the mobile command van. Noah made a decision. We need Donnie, he said. She said she gave the baby to him. They ran his name against all known relatives of Sylvia Jenkins. One hit. Donald Reese, no known address. Used a burner phone, but his last known employer, a private ambulance service, out of service. Shut down last year, owned by a shell company with no real name. Just a P.O. box in another state. It was now almost dawn, and a baby was still out there in the hands of a man no one could trace. Before we continue, let us know in the comments where you are watching from today and what time you are currently watching this video. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Detective Noah Ramsey sat behind the wheel of his car, engine idling, parked a few feet from the hospital. His fingers tapped the steering wheel as dawn broke slowly behind the city skyline. A missing baby, a nurse in custody, a doctor who gave nothing but cold deflections, and now a man named Donnie, completely off-grid. Jenna opened the passenger door and dropped into the seat with a folder in her hand. I got something. Donnie used to drive a van for Comedic EMS, the private ambulance company. They shut down last year, but their fleet never got auctioned off. Meaning we don't know where the vans are. Noah's jaw tightened. Then we find out. They drove to the address on file for the company, an old lot on the outskirts of the city. The gate was open, chain cut. Grass grew up between cracks in the pavement. An old metal sign swung loosely in the breeze. Noah pulled up beside the garage and stepped out with Jenna. The morning air smelled like oil and rust. "Hello," Jenna called out. No response. They circled the building. Around the back sat 3 faded white vans, all with the Comedic EMS logo scratched and faded from their sides. Noah checked the license plates. 2 are cold. This one, he tapped the last one, was reported seen moving near the West Industrial District 3 nights ago. Exact location where Sylvia's phone pinged. Jenna pulled gloves on. Let's open it. Noah moved to the back doors, gun drawn just in case. He swung them open. The smell hit first. Like old sweat and mildew. Inside, an empty gurney. A baby bottle on the floor. A pink baby blanket wadded in the corner. Jenna leaned in. That's not Liam's, right? He's a boy. Noah didn't answer. His eyes landed on the blanket's hospital tag. Property of Blackstone Regional. He reached for his phone. We need CSU here now. Within the hour, crime scene techs had roped off the lot and began combing the van. No fingerprints, but they did find a partial palm print on the rear door. Mara called in from the lab. It's Donnie. We found a match in a previous drug possession case. Donald Reese. He used to be part of a paramedic crew, but he lost his license 5 years ago after stealing painkillers. Perfect, Noah muttered. He's just the kind of guy you trust with a newborn. Mara continued, and there's more. He has a record of disappearing. No known residence but his sister. Still lives 2 counties over. You got an address? Sending it now? Noah and Jenna hit the road immediately, speeding down Highway 6. It was just past 11 a.m. when they pulled into the small, beat-up trailer park outside Caldwell. Chickens wandered the dirt road. A rusted bicycle leaned against a fence. Donnie's sister, Teresa, opened the door after the 3rd knock. She looked tired, hair messy, with deep shadows under her eyes. I already know what this is about, she said. Do you know where your brother is? Noah asked. No, haven't seen him in weeks. You sure? He was last spotted near a warehouse. We found a baby bottle and blanket in the van he used to drive. Her expression cracked. Is the baby okay? Where is he, Teresa? She hesitated, then stepped aside. You better come in. Inside, the place was small and cluttered. Toys were scattered across the floor, but no kids were in sight. My brother's not a good man, she said. But he's not evil either. He gets involved with the wrong people. He told me he was doing a favor for someone at a hospital. Said they paid him to keep something safe. Did he tell you who paid him? No names. Just said it was big, bigger than him. Did you see the baby? No, she said quickly. But I heard crying in his van. He parked behind the trailer once, in the middle of the night. Wouldn't come in, just sat there. I heard crying for hours. Noah clenched his jaw. Where'd he go? Teresa pointed toward the hills in the distance. There's a hunting cabin out there. Used to belong to a friend of his. It's empty now. He said if he ever needed to disappear, that's where he'd go. Noah looked at Jenna. Let's move. They radioed for backup and headed north. The road was bumpy, twisting through dense trees. A heavy fog started to roll in as they climbed. Finally, they spotted tire tracks leading off-road toward a small clearing. There it was, a wooden cabin with peeling paint and a rusted chimney. Smoke still curled from the top. Noah drew his weapon. Jenna did the same. They approached slowly. Then, movement at the side window. "Police!" Noah shouted. "Come out with your hands up." A door creaked, and a man bolted from the back. "Stop!" Jenna fired a warning shot into the ground as Noah chased him. They cut through trees, boots slamming into wet grass. The man ducked under a log. Noah followed, faster, angrier. He dove and tackled the runner to the ground. It was Donnie. He fought like a cornered dog, swinging, scratching, but Noah slammed him down, cuffing his wrists behind his back. "Where's the baby?" he shouted. "He's fine," Donnie yelled. "He's okay. He's just a baby. I didn't hurt him." Noah's heart was pounding as Jenna ran up behind them. "Is he inside?" she asked. Donnie nodded out of breath. "He's in a box, a heat box. It's warm. He's safe." They ran back to the cabin, guns drawn, kicking the front door open. Inside, a metal heating container sat in the corner, covered in blankets. The room was hot, almost suffocating. Noah ripped the lid open. Inside, nestled in thick fleece, was a newborn. Quiet, breathing, alive Liam Warner. Jenna's hands shook as she radioed in. "We have the baby. Repeat, we have the baby. Alive." Noah stood over Donnie, who now lay face down in the grass, face bruised. "Who paid you?" "I don't know names," Donnie muttered. "I swear, you're lying. I got a call. Told me what time to pick the baby up. Said the nurse would bring him out. I was supposed to take him to a safe location. That's all I know." "And you believe that?" "I was broke, man," Donnie said. "They paid $5,000 just to hide him for a few days. Then someone else was supposed to pick him up." "Who? I never met them." Burner phone. "Different number every day." Noah stood up, heart racing, but not from the chase. This wasn't over. It was bigger than just one nurse and one baby. It was a network. Liam Warner was safe, for now. The baby was rushed to a nearby medical center for observation, where doctors confirmed he was healthy and unharmed. His mother, Tasha, was rushed in under police escort. She collapsed the second she saw him, sobbing into his tiny blanket as nurses guided her into a chair. But for Detective Noah Ramsey, the real weight of the case was just beginning to sink in. If someone paid Donnie to hide Liam, then someone else was coming to collect him. And now, whoever they were, they'd know the baby had been found. Noah stood outside the cabin, staring at the line of tire tracks that had led them here. The press hadn't arrived yet, but the news was already spreading. Soon, people would ask the obvious question, why? Why steal a baby from a secure hospital nursery where the cameras showed nothing? And why go through the trouble of hiding him in the woods if it was just for ransom? Noah stared at Donnie, now cuffed in the back of a patrol SUV. His head leaned back against the glass, jaw clenched. "You still think he's not lying?" Jenna asked, stepping beside Noah. "He's not the mastermind. He's the pawn." "Well, whoever was supposed to pick up the baby, they'll realize he's not at the drop point. And that means we're running out of time." Back at the precinct, they started going through Donnie's burner phones. Most were wiped clean, but one still had a few texts left. One read, "Delivery confirmed. Stand by for pickup. Same place Friday night." That was tonight. Noah showed it to Captain Reed. "That's a narrow window," the captain said. "You sure we can pull something off?" Noah nodded. "If we make it look like the baby's still there, someone will show up. We stage the scene, hide a camera crew, wait for them, and when they come, we take them alive. I want to know who's at the top of this." Captain Reed approved the plan. By sunset, the team was back at the cabin. They cleaned the place up, put in hidden mics, night vision cameras, thermal scopes, the whole package. A warm baby doll was placed in the heat box, covered in the same blankets. From a distance, it would look real. Jenna and Noah stayed inside a surveillance van, parked in the tree line about 50 yards away. "I don't like this," Jenna said, watching the monitors. "What if they send more than one person? Then we're ready." 10 officers were hidden in ghillie suits across the woods. 2 snipers had clear views of the cabin. It was as ready as it could get. At 11:07 p.m., a figure appeared in the distance. Alone, male, mid-30s, wearing black, a backpack slung over one shoulder. He moved fast but careful, checking behind him as he approached the cabin. He didn't knock. He just slipped inside. Jenna zoomed the camera. He walked straight to the box, opened it, looked inside, then he froze. Noah leaned in. He knows. The man dropped the lid and pulled a walkie from his bag. Noah grabbed his mic. Move in. Now. Officers stormed from the woods. Flashlights lit the trees. The cabin door burst open. The man bolted through the back window, dove onto the ground, and sprinted into the darkness. Noah and Jenna ran after him, ducking branches, boots hammering through wet leaves. "Freeze!" Jenna shouted. The man darted left, hit a tree, stumbled, and tried to recover, but Noah was faster. He tackled him hard, knocking the air from his lungs. "Got him!" They cuffed him and pulled off his mask. The man was calm, too calm. "You have no idea what you've done," he said, eyes steady. Noah didn't flinch. "Where were you taking the baby?" "You think this ends with me?" the man said. "I'm just the courier." "Who do you work for?" He smiled. "You'll never find her." "Her who?" But the man went silent. Jenna searched his backpack. Inside was a black phone, locked. 2 burner SIM cards, a wad of cash, and something that made Noah's stomach twist, a set of medical gloves and a list of infant names. Liam Warner was at the top. The other 6 names were unknown to Noah, all listed with birth dates, genders, and notations like mother willing or clean record. "What the hell is this?" Jenna whispered. "A shopping list," Noah said. They dragged the man back to the van. He refused to say another word. Lawyers were called. His prints didn't match any federal or state database. No ID, no traceable records. But the name on the SIM card registration finally gave them something. Lena Crow. Noah pulled up her record. She was real. A former hospital administrator at a now-defunct maternity center in Arizona. Fired 3 years ago after suspicious financial activity. Never charged. Disappeared off the grid. "She's the buyer?" Jenna asked. "She's the one pulling strings," Noah replied. They ran deeper checks. Lena had purchased property in 3 states under fake names. All small rural clinics, places that were supposed to be closed. One was located just 4 hours away outside a town called Belridge. It hadn't processed a birth in over a year, on paper, but there were utility bills, supply orders, and 2 unexplained infant deaths listed as complications. Noah didn't wait. By 3 a.m. They were speeding toward Belridge. The road was quiet. Cold fog pressed against the windshield. The clinic sat alone on a hill, surrounded by old trees. Lights on, security camera at the front. But no movement. Noah and Jenna geared up. 2 more officers flanked the sides. They approached slow, no signs of life inside. Door was locked. Noah knocked once. Nothing. Then a voice on the intercom. "Do you have the child?" Noah blinked. "What?" "Do you have Liam?" He kept his voice steady. "Yes, bring him in, side door." No games. The intercom shut off. Jenna whispered, "The baby's out there." "We use it." They circled to the side door. It opened automatically. Inside was a dim hallway. Clean, almost surgical. They stepped in. Doors on both sides, empty rooms, examination beds. Then footsteps. A woman appeared from the end of the hall. Late 40s, blonde hair in a tight bun. White coat, calm, confident face. "Detective Ramsey," she said. "Welcome." "How do you know my name?" "I know more than your name." She smiled slowly. "I know everything that's about to go wrong. Before we continue, let us know in the comments where you are watching from today and what time you are currently watching this video. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Detective Noah Ramsey tightened his grip on his pistol. The woman in the white coat, Lena Crow, stood motionless at the end of the hallway. The clinic's lights buzzed softly above them. Everything smelled like antiseptic and metal. Too clean, too prepared. "Where's the baby?" Lena asked again, voice low even. Noah didn't answer. Jenna shifted slightly, her weapon aimed center mass. "We know what you've been doing here, Lena." Lena's head tilted slightly. "You know what someone wanted you to find. You don't know the real picture." "You've been trafficking infants," Noah snapped. "Organized handoffs, fake records. At least 7 children missing, maybe more." Lena didn't flinch. I help place children where they'll never be abused, abandoned, or ignored. I save them from systems that fail them. By stealing them from their mothers? She took one step closer. By giving them a future better than what the state would. Put your hands where I can see them. She didn't. Instead, the lights cut out. Pitch black. Noah's heart kicked hard. Jenna shouted, "Back, get out of the hallway." But it was too late. A loud metallic clunk echoed behind them. The side door they entered slammed shut. Locked. "Move," Noah yelled. They charged toward the hallway's end where Lena had been. She was gone. Another click, this one close. A door to their right creaked open slightly. Faint light spilled out. Jenna whispered, "We're not alone." They entered the room slowly. It was a surgical space, bright lights above, cold instruments lined along a metal tray. There were no windows. In the center of the room sat a glass-walled crib. Empty, but next to it a file. Jenna grabbed it. Photos, names, ultrasound images, and a small note written in perfect print. "These are the ones they wouldn't miss." Noah cursed under his breath. "She's documenting it like a business." Jenna pulled out her phone. "We're offline." No signal. Noah tried the radio. "Static. We're boxed in," Jenna said. "This place is a trap." They backed into the hallway, flashlights on now, beams slicing through the dark. A distant sound, footsteps above them. Fast, more than one person. Noah motioned to Jenna. "Upstairs." They moved quickly, following the stairs near the front desk. The clinic creaked under their feet, every noise amplified by the silence around them. Upstairs they found more rooms. One had been converted into a storage space filled with bassinets, boxes of baby formula, and medical records. Another had a cot and a small kitchenette. Someone had been living here. Suddenly, a bang from downstairs, then shouting, gunfire. Noah and Jenna raced back down. As they reached the main level, they saw it, the front door wide open, light flooding in, 2 officers on the ground. One was groaning, bleeding from the arm. The other was unconscious. A man in black tactical gear was sprinting through the trees. Jenna didn't hesitate. She bolted after him. Noah stopped to check the downed officer's pulse, steady, alive. "Stay here, more units are coming," he shouted, then sprinted out the door. The air was colder now. The trees moved fast around him as he ran. He caught glimpses of Jenna ahead, flashlight bouncing. The target darted through brush, weaving fast. Gunshots cracked, 3 in a row. Jenna ducked behind a tree. Noah dropped low. "He's heading to the service road," Jenna shouted. They pushed forward. At the bottom of the hill, a black SUV's engine roared to life. "He's not alone," Noah yelled. The vehicle peeled out, gravel flying. Jenna fired twice. 1 round hit the tire. The SUV swerved but kept going. Too fast. It disappeared into the forest road. They were left in silence, breath heavy, hearts pounding. Noah turned to Jenna. They were here to clean house. Lena's crew. They returned to the clinic. Backup had arrived, ambulances and tactical teams. The officers were treated. The building was cleared room by room. But Lena, gone. So were the hard drives, the computers, and most of the physical files. It had all been scrubbed clean, fast, precise. Too precise for amateurs. Noah and Jenna sat in the command van outside the clinic an hour later. They reviewed the footage from their body cams and the security feeds they'd pulled from inside before the power cut. On one clip, during the blackout, they saw it, a brief flash of Lena walking through a lower hallway, guiding 2 men in gear toward a locked basement door. Noah stared at it. There's a lower level. They returned to the clinic and located a narrow stairwell near the exam room. It had been behind a supply rack. Cleverly hidden, they descended slowly. The lower level was silent, cool. Rows of file cabinets lined the walls. No lights. Noah switched his flashlight back on. In the back, a heavy steel door, locked, bolted. It took 3 officers to pry it open with tools. Inside, cold steel tables, medical equipment, a blood-stained mattress, and cages, 2 of them. Empty now? Jenna stepped back, face pale. This isn't a clinic. This is a holding facility. A whiteboard hung on the wall with 3 words written in red marker. Next one, Baby H. Jenna found a folder near the desk. Inside was a full birth certificate, a forged adoption contract, and a photo of a newborn in a NICU. Born just last week, back at Blackstone Hospital. Noah grabbed his radio. "We need eyes on every newborn at Blackstone now. Full lockdown, no exceptions. Lena's still operating." As officers flooded out of the clinic to their vehicles, the real fear set in. Lena hadn't vanished. She was still watching, still selecting, and the next baby on her list was already born. By sunrise, the entire city felt tense. Helicopters hovered over Blackstone Regional Hospital. Armed officers lined every entrance. Nurses were escorted through metal detectors. Every newborn wing was placed on high alert. Detective Noah Ramsey hadn't slept in over 30 hours. He stood in the hospital's security control room, sipping bitter coffee while scanning camera feeds of the nursery. Jenna paced behind him. "So this new baby, Baby H," she said. "What's the full name?" "Holly Green," said the hospital administrator, a pale man named Craig. "Born 3 days ago. Her mother's in recovery." "And the father?" Noah asked. "Deployed overseas. He hasn't met her yet." Noah didn't like it. Too vulnerable, too easy to target. He turned to Craig. "Where's Holly right now?" "In the Level 2 nursery. We assigned extra nurses and security." Noah stared at the monitor, showing the room, soft lights, 4 babies sleeping in clear bassinets, 2 nurses inside, and an officer standing near the doorway. Then something caught his eye. Movement at the corner of the feed. One of the nurses wheeled a baby out toward the hall. "Where's she going with that baby?" Noah asked, pointing. Craig frowned. "That's Nurse May, probably to feeding." "Radio the hallway guard. Confirm." A nurse's voice came over the radio seconds later. "I didn't sign anyone out." "Nobody told me a baby was leaving." Jenna snapped around. "She just walked out." "Follow her." Noah barked into his radio. "Track her on every camera from the nursery to the elevators now." They rewound the hallway footage. Noah watched as Nurse May, wearing a surgical mask and cap, walked past the officer, calmly pushing the bassinet down the hall. Her badge swayed around her neck. But when the camera caught a clear angle of her face, Noah's blood ran cold. That wasn't Nurse May, it was Lena Crow, in disguise. "Shut down every exit." Jenna yelled. "She's got Holly." Officers poured into the stairwells and emergency exits. Lockdown protocol blared across the PA system. Noah tracked the cameras. Lena had taken the elevator to the basement level, service access. From there, the feed cut out. "She's disabled the cameras in the basement," Craig stammered. "How?" Noah shouted. "This place was supposed to be locked down." Craig shrank under the weight of it. "She must have had access before. She knew what to cut." Jenna bolted from the room. "We go down now." They ran through the hospital halls, flashing their badges, pushing past startled staff. Down the elevator, basement level. Dim quiet. Too quiet. The service hallway stretched out like a tunnel. Cleaning supplies, crates and shelves filled both sides. Ahead, a fire door was propped open. They stormed through it and found the back lot. A delivery truck sat idling with its rear doors closed, no driver in sight. Noah and Jenna approached fast, guns drawn. "Clear the back," Noah shouted. Officers flanked the sides. Jenna flung the doors open. Empty. Just blankets and an oxygen tank. Then Noah spotted it, fresh tire marks leading to the rear service exit. Another vehicle had been here. They transferred her. Fast. He ran back toward the exit booth. "Anyone see a vehicle leave in the last 5 minutes?" The security guard, shaking, stammered, "Yes." A white van, no license plate, unmarked. It had a medical sticker, real official looking. Said they were emergency staff moving a newborn for testing. "Direction," Noah demanded. "North." Took Elm toward the expressway. Jenna cursed. "She's gone again." Noah felt the pressure in his skull rise. They had known. Somehow Lena knew exactly when and how to strike. She had blended in with a hospital team under full lockdown. She was that good. Back in the command van, Mara checked every traffic cam north of the hospital. "There," she shouted, pointing to the screen. A blurry white van zipped through a red light on Elm and 3rd. 4 minutes ago, no plates. Noah radioed dispatch. "All units in Sector 9, pursue a white medical van, no markings, northbound on Elm. Suspect is armed and dangerous, infant inside." 5 patrol cars cut across the city. Helicopters began to sweep the expressway. Then a call came in, Unit 12. Van spotted entering a parking garage on Whitaker Avenue. Pursuit terminated. Suspect ditched the vehicle inside. Noah's tires screeched as he turned the wheel. He and Jenna sped to the garage, 6 levels of concrete. Cameras were mostly busted. Classic choice. Inside, they found the van. Door wide open, a soft cry from within. They ran over. Inside, wrapped in fresh blankets, lay Holly Green, alive, breathing, unharmed. But Lena was gone. Again. Noah scanned the lot. How did she vanish again? Emergency stairwell, Jenna muttered, pointing to the far corner. They bolted for it. Up the stairwell, 2 floors, then they heard it. A gunshot. Noah didn't stop. He ran straight through the rooftop door. At the top, Lena stood near the edge, gun raised, aimed at a man in uniform. It was a security guard. But as soon as she saw Noah and Jenna appear, she didn't fire. She didn't run. She smiled. 3rd time's the charm, huh, detective? Put the weapon down, Lena, Noah said, calm but ready. You think I've lost? She said. You think just because you found the baby, it's over? Drop the gun. She did. But then she stepped back and tossed something over the edge. A black flash drive. Noah lunged forward. Jenna handcuffed her as the guard radioed for backup. You're finished, Lena, Jenna said. Lena only smirked. You just disrupted one shipment. That's all, she whispered. Noah didn't say anything. He stared at the horizon. This wasn't just about Liam. Or Holly. There were others. And someone else bigger was still out there, pulling every string. Before we continue, let us know in the comments where you are watching from today and what time you are currently watching this video. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. The sky was still dark when Detective Noah Ramsey stepped into the interview room at Blackstone's temporary field office. Lena Crow sat handcuffed to a steel chair, arms relaxed, head tilted back like she was waiting for an old friend. She hadn't asked for a lawyer. She hadn't said a word since her arrest. Jenna stood behind the glass watching silently, arms crossed. Noah took a seat opposite Lena, set a folder down, opened it slowly. Inside were photos Liam Warner, Holly Green, the cabin, the fake clinic, and the van parked in the garage with an abandoned newborn inside. He placed the photos one by one in front of her. Still, she didn't speak. You know what this is, Noah finally said. You've been doing it for years, stealing infants, covering your tracks, selling them. Lena raised one eyebrow. Stealing is a strong word. You posed as a nurse to take a newborn right from under our nose. I was helping her, she said quietly. She wasn't in danger. Lena leaned forward. You don't know what danger looks like. You think I'm the villain, but I'm just the delivery girl. So tell me, Noah said, who's the one paying you to do all this? Her eyes flashed. Who wants them? He pressed. Where do these babies go? Lena smiled faintly. If you think arresting me stops any of this, you're dumber than I thought. For every baby you find, 2 more are already overseas. Jenna entered the room. Then give us a name, she said sharply. Someone you answer to, someone bigger. Lena tapped her handcuffed fingers on the table. I'm not a fool. Names like that get you buried. Jenna didn't blink. You're already buried, Lena. You just don't know it yet. Lena looked between them, her smirk fading. Check the Gulfstream flight logs from last Thursday. Private airfield, 2 pilots, no customs record. But a baby left the country. Noah froze. You're saying Liam was supposed to be flown out? He missed his flight because of you, Lena said. But others didn't. Noah got up. We're done here. He rushed out of the room, Jenna close behind. Within the hour, they were at the private airfield on the outskirts of town. The manager was reluctant at first until he saw the badge. 2 flights had left that week without appearing on national air traffic logs. Both registered under a shell company out of South Florida. No crew names. No passengers. But one flight had cargo records. Vague. Medical transport. Jenna leaned closer to the screen. That's how they do it. They smuggle the babies as biological samples. Noah stared at the screen. Where did the flight land? Private strip outside Tijuana, the manager said. Then no further records. Jenna's phone buzzed. It was Mara from the lab. I cracked the flash drive, she said breathlessly. It's huge. Dozens of names, routes, pickup points. Every state, every drop-off clinic. This thing is a map of their entire operation. Can we trace it to a buyer? Jenna asked. Maybe. There's a string of encrypted transfers, money wired to an account listed as Clara International Holdings. They've been funneling millions through fake child wellness foundations. Noah rubbed his forehead. Where's it based? Switzerland, but that's just a shell. The real link, Miami. There's a woman named Sabine Hartley. She runs a, quote, special care foundation for underprivileged infants. But get this, she used to run private adoption services overseas before her license was revoked. Sabine, Noah muttered. She's the buyer, Jenna said. Mara added, and she's in town. What? She flew in 2 days ago. Charter flight. She's staying at the Langford Tower, penthouse suite. Noah didn't hesitate. Get SWAT ready. No more close calls. By nightfall, 3 black SUVs pulled up outside Langford Tower. The lobby was quiet, clean, expensive. Penthouse access was controlled by a private elevator. Only one keycard worked, but they had a back way through the service shaft and rooftop emergency stairs. At 11:12 p.m., Noah, Jenna, and 4 tactical officers moved in. Silently, guns drawn. As they approached the penthouse door, Noah gave a short nod. Boom, the door blasted open. Officers rushed in. What they found was not what they expected. The suite was dimly lit. Classical music played softly. In the center of the room stood a woman in her late 50s. Elegant, calm, wearing a silk robe, barefoot. Sabine Hartley. She didn't run, didn't scream. Instead, she poured herself a glass of wine. I wondered when you'd come, she said. Hands where we can see them, Jenna shouted. Sabine raised her hands slowly, turning with a polite smile. You must be Detective Ramsey. Noah stepped forward. You trafficked infants across international lines. You paid off nurses, doctors. You built a black market. Sabine didn't flinch. I rescued children. I gave them to parents who would love them, protect them, raise them with privilege. You sold babies. Language detective. Where are the others? Jenna asked. The ones who made it out, Sabine sighed. Do you think they're in basements? Locked in cages? No, they're with families, high-profile families. Politicians, royalty, people with influence. You think those children are coming back? They're gone. You're not walking away from this. Sabine smiled. I don't need to walk away. Do you know who's on my board? Judges, bankers, even your governor's wife. Then they can all go down with you. Sabine finished her wine. We'll see, she whispered. The officers cuffed her and began searching the suite. Inside a walk-in closet, they found boxes of documents, fake birth certificates, DNA test kits, USB drives, and one large briefcase filled with neatly stacked foreign currency. It wasn't just about adoption, it was profit, power, leverage. Noah stared out the suite window at the skyline. They had found the buyer, but behind her, a system that had gone undetected for years. That night, they took Sabine Hartley into custody, but even with her arrest, the hardest part hadn't even started, because now they had to answer one question. How did this all begin? The federal building in downtown Blackstone was packed with press vans. Outside, reporters shouted questions behind barricades. Inside, in a quiet conference room on the 6th floor, Detective Noah Ramsey stared at the wall. The whiteboard in front of him was filled with lines and names. Red ink circled the major players: Lena Crow, recruiter; Sabine Hartley, buyer; Donnie Fletch, mule. And in the center of it all, a baby's photo. Liam Warner. Jenna entered the room with 2 steaming cups of coffee. We just finished logging the last drive from Sabine's suite. Noah took a cup, eyes still fixed on the board. Any good news? We found the first drop. He looked at her. The very first baby that went missing. It was 7 years ago. A hospital nurse in Tulsa signed out a baby girl for testing. The mother never saw her again. That was before Lena, Noah said. Jenna nodded. We think Lena got recruited because of it. The success of that first test run proved it could work. And no one raised flags? They did. But the hospital blamed it on a clerical error. And the mother, she didn't have money to fight back. The case went cold. Noah sat down. 7 years, dozens of babies. Each one labeled, transported, and delivered like cargo. How's Liam? He asked. Jenna smiled. He's with his mom. Safe. Police protection around the clock. She's not letting go of him even for a second. Noah stared at the photo again. He thought about that night, the footage of the nursery, the empty crib, the impossible silence. How cameras had shown nothing. How it didn't make sense. But now it did, because the system hadn't failed. The system had been rigged. Hospitals had been infiltrated. Staff bought off, security bypassed. Medical records rewritten. For years no one had noticed. Or worse, they looked away. Later that day, in federal custody, Lena Crow was transferred under tight security. Marshals escorted her across the tarmac at a private airfield. Chains on her ankles, bulletproof vest. In the van, she looked out the window and smiled. "You know you haven't really won," she said. The marshal didn't respond. "There are others," she continued. "Ones I've never met. I only knew one layer above me." The marshal kept his eyes forward. "Do you think I ever met the real buyers? The ones who order babies by gender, eye color, medical history?" She leaned back. "They're ghosts. And they're still watching." Meanwhile, in Miami, Sabine Hartley was being processed in a federal holding facility. Her legal team, one of the most powerful in the country, was already setting the wheels in motion for delay after delay. But the evidence was heavy. The drives alone were enough to bury her. Still, she wasn't worried. In her cell, she stared at the fluorescent light above her and whispered, "Plan B." 2 states away, a judge's phone buzzed in the middle of dinner. A message appeared, "Drop the charges, or the photos go public." Sabine still had friends. Powerful ones. Back in Blackstone, Noah met Tasha Warner outside the hospital. She held Liam, bundled in a soft blue blanket. Her face was tired, eyes heavy from days of crying, but she was strong. "I heard you found others," she said. Noah nodded. "We'll bring them back?" One at a time, Tasha held her baby close. "I'll never understand how someone could do that." Noah looked down at Liam. The baby blinked slowly, then let out a small sigh. "We live in a world where people don't steal money," Noah said. "They steal people, because they're worth more." Tasha didn't answer. She didn't need to. Her grip tightened around her son. 3 days later, Jenna sat in the precinct with a file marked top priority. Inside were 3 new infant disappearances, all from different states, all within the last 72 hours. The cases had exactly the same pattern. Fake nurse, disconnected security footage. No trace. Jenna looked at Noah, her voice dry. "It's still happening." He closed his eyes. "This was never about stopping one woman. It's about burning the whole thing down." Back at headquarters, a tech analyst found something chilling buried in Sabine's financials. A monthly wire transfer. Always the same amount. Always to the same account in Geneva. But the memo line said, "Greenlight Infant Services, monthly access fee Greenlight." Noah leaned in. "Search everything connected to that name." The analyst worked fast. 10 minutes later, she found it. Greenlight wasn't a business. It was a private digital platform. Access restricted to verified medical professionals and high-level international donors. What was it used for? Live auctions. Children, babies, toddlers. Photos, details, estimated value. Noah's jaw clenched. They weren't just stealing babies. They were selling them to the highest bidder in real time. And the platform, still active, still operating, still protected, in Washington, D.C. As the news of the busts hit the media, headlines exploded. "Black market infant ring uncovered in hospital theft case." FBI links missing children to global trafficking network. Authorities investigating private clinics with ties to smuggled babies. But one line in a buried federal report said it best. "There are currently no estimates on the total number of infants who may have been involved, or how many are still missing." Weeks passed. Donnie took a plea deal and testified. Lena stayed silent through trial. Sabine was denied bail, too many flight risks. But for Noah and Jenna, the work was far from over. Because even as they returned to their desks each morning, new reports kept coming in. New mothers, new missing babies, new quiet cribs. Noah knew the truth now. Liam Warner was just the crack in the glass. But the whole window hadn't shattered yet. That part was still coming, and when it did, the world would finally see everything. If you liked this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for the second part of this story. Also, in other, to strengthen our community, let us know in the comments where you are watching from and what time you are currently watching this video.